Hello and welcome back to Tsukihime. My name is Mimi Dennis, and last time we went to meet with Noelle, who was in this abandoned factory where she was torturing these two vampires. Two that we've met before actually. They were Volov's lackeys that were kicking people down into the pit. And yeah, we had the choice to either not kill them or kill them. Either way, they both led to both of them being killed by either us or Noelle. And afterwards, we have a talk with Noelle basically about Ciel, about her past, how she is one of the executors for the Bureau Agency, who is the separate force from the church, and how unbelievably strong she is. And we kind of talk a little bit more, but later on we kind of go home and we're like, we gotta meet up with Arcueid later today, so let's sneak out. Haha, I'll definitely not get caught. Oh god, Ciel's onto me. She's following me, and she's angry. She's like, if you're not gonna listen to what I say, I'm not gonna listen to you. Let's go. And she followed us all the way to the park, and now she was like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea for Arcueid and I to meet up. And Arcueid's like, say what? And she's like, what? So now, yeah, we're basically, we're about to witness the first encounter, from my knowledge, of Arcueid and Ciel, and that's got my, I'm like really looking forward to this because I'm still thinking that Ciel was that girl from like 13 years ago who ended up getting killed by Arcueid, but I want to know what exactly happened. Noelle said that Ciel is technically immortal, so maybe she was able to live while while Roa inside her died or something. I don't know. I need answers. I'm very curious. But yes, let's get into it. The tension I feel now is as stifling as when we faced down Vlov, if not more so. Instincts tell me that my life is forfeit if I so much as take a single step.
驚いたわ。Shikiの声が聞こえたから来てみれば、まさかあなたが一緒だなんてね。
So like, I've always mentioned this, but it makes sense for Ciel to know Arcueid because Arcueid's famous in the vampire world. She is the true ancestor, one of them, and she is incredibly powerful. But I kind of wonder why Arcueid knows about Ciel, like the opposite, because she's just a member of the church. She's very strong, but I wonder if that would be like a reason enough for Arcueid to remember her.
何をしに来たのシエル。私に用はないと思うけど。
Oh god.
あなたに用などありません。大事ならともかく、話をするなんて考えるだけでもおぞけが走りますから。
The light faded from her eyes. She's like, oh, I freaking hate you.
私は彼があんまりにも危なっかしいので指導をしてあげているだけです。どうも、頭の緩い吸血鬼にたぶらかされているようなので。指導が必要なのはそっちの体の方なんじゃない？余分な肉ばかりついて死に際のカバのよう。それともどんなに切り崩しても重さの減らない贅肉かしら。
Are you kidding me? She is as fit as a fiddle, despite the fact that she eats a copious amount.
そっくりそのまま返しますよ。
Sorry, I was looking at Ciel's face and it looked like her cheeks like puffed out a little bit, like she got a little bit fatter.
起きて殺すことだけがあなたの美点でしょうに。人間に助けを求めるなんてそんな余分はらしくありません。
Man, they fucking hate each other. Oh my god. I kind of wonder. So like, one thing that's kind of weird for me at the screen is that it's not split evenly. Arcueid has most of the screen space, and I'm not sure why.
真祖の誇りとやらをどこかに落としたのですか？まあそんなもの実際あったかどうか疑問ですけど。
Look at her. She's so angry. That face, they're both like, It's weird. It feels like the tension has eased slightly. Maybe it's because the pressure enveloping the entire park has been redirected at Ciel alone. Actually, looking at them now, they almost seem like birds of a feather. Maybe they can talk things out. No, I don't know about that.
つくづく勘に触る女ね。一度やられたぐらいじゃ物足りないってこと？
Okay, that's confirmation. So, I was thinking that Ciel was the person in that flashback. This basically confirms it because she has confirmed that Arcueid has killed Ciel. And it would also confirm why Arcueid knows a lot about Ciel, or not a lot, but knows of Ciel personally. But they both said that they didn't really meet each other personally, right? I guess because at that time she was more Roa, less Ciel.
あなたこそ手も足も出ずに地に落とされた恐怖がまだ拭えていないんじゃないですか。言ったわね、キャンズ。
Oh right, they mentioned that name before. I kind of forgot what that means. It was very... I feel like it was like last episode too. But the fear of plummeting helplessly to the earth. I don't understand that.
何よ、人のパートナーを横取りするつもり？ええ、状況次第では。
She's like, yeah.
彼が私を頼ってくれるのなら、今すぐにでも。
The situation is about to boil over. The hostilities may not be focused on me, but I can't stand by and watch. Ciel and Arcueid aren't kids, so it shouldn't come to blows. Still, as a person in the middle, I have to quell some of their bloodlust.
待ってくれ、二人とも。なんか空気が不穏だ。耐えられない。というか、落ち着け。お互い目的は同じなんだろう。ならここは仲良く。
Let's talk this out. You guys are both wonderful best girls.
トーノ君は黙っててください。
You're not in this conversation, Shiki. But you're talking about me. No, shut up. Well, that didn't work. Based on the animosity, I don't know why I messed that up, in their glares, I'm guessing I've only added fuel to the fire.
真似しないでよ。式に呼びかけるのは私だけの特権なんですけど。呼びかける？今のが？せいぜい同活の間違いでしょう。鏡を見たことがないんですね。
Oh shit.
吸血鬼だから鏡に映らないんでしたっけ？どこの迷信よ。鏡にぐらいちゃんと映るわ、私。
It's just very faint.
おや、そうでしたか。それは失礼。使徒ですら自分の姿を恥じて姿を映さないというのに、大した厚顔っぷりです。さすがは吸血鬼の大元、感服しました。
Uh-oh. He's about to go yellow-eyed.
ねえ、もしかして挑発しているの？まさか。これは挑発ではなく糾弾ですよ。
Oh shit. Oh my god. These words sting.
自分が何であるかを理解しない愚か者に現実を教えてあげているだけです。
Uh-oh, her eyes definitely change color. Arcueid's smile is beautiful, yet horrifying. My fingers tingle with numbness. Oh god, that's not the moon in the title screen. Every hair on my body stands on end. In a single breath, the park is frozen under the grinning portent of death. But even faced with that smile, Ciel does not back down.
いいわ。私からも最初で最後の勧告よ。式はあなたのことがそれなりに大事らしいから、今回だけは見逃してあげる。
Sort of cares
また殺される前
about
に、今すぐここから消え去りなさい。
I'll do it for Shiki.
驚きましたね。吸血鬼が人間の機嫌を伺うなんて。あなたなら人間なんて思い通りに操れる。
True.
彼に協力させるならしもべにしてしまえばいいのに、なぜ魅了しないのですか、アルクエイド。
It's all natural.
あなたらしい品位に欠けた発想ね。式は私のパートナーよ。そんなことをしなくても私の手助けをしてくれるって言ってくれた。
Yeah, come and think of it, the only time she used her mystic eyes on Shiki in this route, at least, I kind of forgot, depending on the choices I made, was when Shiki tried to run away, and she was like, "Nope, you're following me, bitch." It was all the way back in day 4, and it was also optional, so at this point, potentially you didn't even have to witness that. It was, okay, never mind, I did not choose that. It was one of the options, but I did not choose that. Anyways,
私を殺せる時でも私のそばにいてくれた。私が一人でいる時も式に会えると思うだけで時間は瞬く間に過ぎていった。
Oh, I wonder if she's gonna be like, had the chance to kill Shiki, you should have just finished this girl off.
当然でしょ。だって式は私の運命の人なんだから。
Uh-oh. Wait, soulmate? What the hell is she talking about? Ciel's wordless judgment stings. She's staring me down, silently demanding to know what the what the meaning of all this is. Not that I even have the answer to that. I'd like to know myself.
ふざけてるんですか、あなたは。
You don't
何を言い出すかと思えば、よりにもよってオムファタルなんて。
Wait, what? Is that supposed to be femme fatale, but like the male version? I guess so.
ふざけてなんかいないわ。四季の心も体も彼がこれから得る喜びも悲しみも死に伏せる権利さえ私のもの。
He's mine.
ええ、使徒の気持ちが少しだけ理解できたわ。人間の血を飲みたいとは思わないけど、四季の命は私以外の誰にも渡さない。
Oh Jesus. I should have figured this out, but this route we have Yandere Arcueid. Okay.
ちょっと待て。
I can barely squeeze a whisper out of my throat. I don't know their history, and evidently I can't stop the fight that's on the verge of breaking out. But even so, I can't ignore what Arcueid just said. She understands how a dead apostle feels. No way. I haven't known her for that long, but that can't be true. That would mean that she's no more than a vampire.
アルクエド、あなたまさか。さあ、どうかしら。あなたから私はどう見えるの、シエル。
She's thirsty and not for his blood this time.
吸血衝動に飲み込まれて打点したように見える。いいえ、神祖が落ちたのならとっくに世界は裏返っています。あなたはまだ狂っても落ちてもいない。
Ciel's like, I can't believe it. She hasn't lost her urges. She's just really horny.
つまり今の段階ならまだ間に合うということです。ええ、その通りよ、シエル。
Still time for what?
これは吸血衝動とは違う。だって楽しいわ。すごく胸が弾んでいるの。まるで春の野原のよう。以前あなたは私を愚かだと言ったわね。ロアに騙された世間知らずだって。本当にそう。四季に殺されるまでの私は本当に愚かだった。自由になることが、
Oh no.
自由に手足を動かせることが、自由に人間を好きになることがこんなにも気持ちいいなんて知らなかった。だから今の私はあなた以上に人間的よ。
Oh shit. I'm falling in love, so I'm more human than you, you cold bitch. Is what she just
例
said.
えばこんな風に自分の気持ちを表現できる。
What? Arcueid sinks her teeth into her index finger like she's taking a bite out of a strawberry. Red liquid drips down her pale finger. A small drop of blood falls onto the stone pavement. Splish! The droplet hits the ground with the tiniest sound and... in an instant, a pool of crimson liquid covers the park. What is she doing? Oh... that's a lot of red. That's not what I expected. This can't be real. But no, the park is actually covered in blood. The sticky red liquid sloshing around my ankles is proof of that.
安心して、一滴だけだから。
It's only one drop. One more and you drown. Oh, Jesus. Wait, what happened to her vampiric urges? Has it just been suppressed by obsession?
これから楽しい時間になるのに、ここは色が薄すぎて。せめてこれぐらいはしないと趣がないでしょ。
The air coiling around me feels dense, but there's no malice in her voice. She's the same old Arcueid. The same stupid, innocent girl with a smile as bright as the sun. Only one thing is off. One slight trivial mistake that has turned her into something else.
自由に思うままに行動するというのですね。あなたが何の制約もなく思うままにロアを処罰すると。その結果がどうなるか理解していますか？自らを縛らない神祖は使徒と変わらない。グローブのようにこの町を蹂躙するのが望みだとでも。
No, Shiki cares too much about this town.
分かりきったことを聞かないでしよう。
Oh shit.
人間の町に関心はないの。邪魔をしなければ何もしない。こんなの道端の石と同じよ。ああ、でもそっか。好きになるのも自由なら 憎んでみるのも自由よね。
Oh, fudge. You're also taking my man away from me, so...
ロアに汚染された町、ロアの痕跡を残す土地、どちらにせよ汚らしいし、きれいに掃除していくのも私の自由。それにここで思いっきり今までずっと気に食わなかった女を八つ咲きにするのも心底楽しそうじゃない？
Oh, shit. Whoa! The battle begins instantaneously. The woman in white leaps into the air. Swords dart through the air, suppressing her advance. Whoa! The two figures clash before I have the chance to react. Oh, we have lines on the side, so I guess it's third person. Or like, it's a POV of Ciel. Ciel leaps to the side as she shouts a warning at the boy behind her. Not a moment later, white claws tear through the ground where she stood. Arcueid has closed in on her in a single bound, slamming her arm into the ground as if to crush her entire body. Let's play! The Avatar of White cheerfully taunts her mortal enemy. To her, the thrill of the fight far outweighs the humiliation of her foiled attack. Ciel ignores the jeering as she formulates a strategy. This is the worst possible turn the knight could have taken. Her opponent is a true ancestor who has lost her mind. They're in the middle of the city, and she's only armed with black keys. Well, I did tell you to go home, and you didn't listen to me. To make matters worse, she needs to protect an innocent bystander, Shiki Tohno, and in this instance, while she fights, she's left with only one course of action. Go on the defensive, wait for a pause in Arcueid's onslaught, use it to erect the most powerful bounded field she has, and retreat with Shiki. It is a simple plan in theory, but Ciel knows from experience that this plan rarely survived contact with the enemy. The Trosu? I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't even know what that word is. Dashes at her in a straight line. Maybe it's French because Ciel is French. Ciel sends a sword flying towards her torso. These swords are also known as black keys, inquisitorial tools used exclusively by executors. In its basic form, it appears to be nothing but a hilt. However, a blade appears when infused with the sacrament, allowing it to function as a sword. That said, it's used primarily for thrusting and throwing, making it a lot less of a cutting tool than a bullet for piercing vampires from afar. When the Executor imbues it with her will, it darts through the air with the force of a cannonball. Transcending human limits, she moves with millimeter precision. All of her physical energy is channeled into the throw, amplifying the power of the Black Key by an order of magnitude. It's not the work of a magecraft or sacraments, but pure mastery of the human body. One fanatic spent hundreds of years devising this technique. A pitch with a force to pierce a concrete wall. At the Barrel Agency, they call it the Iron Bore. And it did shit, but one swipe of Arcueid's claw is enough to render it useless. Whoa, how many of those did you hide? Every black key Ciel throws is an Iron Bore. The vampire bats aside the rain of swords with a smile on her face, bearing down on the Executor. She's like, yeah, wow, that tickled me a little bit. The distance Ciel created is closed effortlessly. Arcueid's claws come swinging down. Ciel attempts to use the black key as a shield, but it shatters. The impact reverberates through her arms, all the way to her ribs. Unable to resist the force of the blow, she jumps back in the direction she is thrown. The hilts of 6 more black keys appear in her hands. In the span of a single breath, she launches them at Arcueid and pulls back 10 meters from the vampire. She's throwing them like, Oh, you got burned! As Arcueid implied, black keys have a long and storied history of nearly 1,700 years. There are few who still use them due to the high level of skill they demand, and modern weaponry serve as an adequate substitute. But Ciel is not the average Executor. She understands that a weapon cannot be dismissed on the account of age. Several variations have been developed over its 1,000 years of use. Oh, that's how she lit that amalgamation monster on the roof in the other route, because she was able to light these black keys up. One of these is the cremation rite, a wall of flames burning at 500 degrees Celsius to incinerate the impure beings known as the living dead. Like this. Of course, such a weapon has no chance of stopping this vampire. The flames are just a distraction. Ciel's goal is only to restrain her. Direct attacks with black keys have little effect, but trapping Arcueid in a bounded field would work to keep her at bay for a day. Would it be the same bounded field? I've got you now, which means I don't have you now. She brushes the torn blades aside. But they made a barrier! When the black keys pierce the ground, a glowing field shoots up from between them, forming an outline in the shape of a cathedral. These walls are more than strong enough to keep Arcueid locked within, if only she had been in range. The white figure charges at the Executor, weaving through the swords like a beautiful beast bounding across a vast plain. I guess she missed. Ciel meets Arcueid head-on. Though she could have dodged a blow, she does not allow herself that option. She has already been driving to the edge of the park. She have already been driven to the edge of the park. If she were to fall back any further, the fight would be taken into the city streets. You're boring! I left it in the club room! Ciel weathers the vicious assault. Her muscles feel like they're on the verge of exploding. Having taken the brunt of Arcueid's charge, she is like a spring coiled to its limit, and she releases all her energy with a fiery roar. Ciel pivots, putting her force into a roundhouse kick that strikes Arcueid in the chest. Into the barrier you go. The white shadow is sent flying, with 3 black keys following closely behind. There are barriers! Oh, got it? What? Tower ring, okay. More barriers and more barriers. The tower ring is a bounded field divided by Ciel for the use against true ancestors, or more accurately, against Arcueid specifically. This is the fuck you card! Simply nailing black keys into the ground and creating a wall would not hold her. To capture prey that moves about, this freely requires a 3-dimensional method of herding. In this case, by using the towering walls of a temple as the foundation for a structure that simultaneously occupies vertical and horizontal space. Although the field will not harm its target, it's practically indestructible. That Tower of Light has about the same hardness and mass as the building it is modeled after, namely the Strasbourg Cathedral, the tallest structure in the world during the Middle Ages, a massive stone and prayer standing 140 meters tall. The vampire has no hope of escaping it. Well, too bad!
あなたとロアにしか使わないだけです。諦めなさい、アルクエイド。それは27素であっても一時的に封じ得る強度を持ちます。新素であっても容易には砕けません。加えて何？やっぱりあの武器を持ってくるの。
She's gonna run away. Whoa.
聖典を持ち出す必要はありません。ことはすでに終わっていますか。
It's already over. The countless pillars of light thrusting out of the ground join together. They form layer upon layer of walls, overlapping to form a single cage.
グローブの時のそれはゴチックフォート。ある素から奪い取った原理を用いた結界です。本来は外界との遮断に用いますが、使い方によっては最大の武器にもなる。
Yeah, this was a square. The cube.
ところでアルクエイドは魔術世界における生命の質量定義は知っていますね。 生命そのものが持つエネルギー生産量、もしくは質量を段階として定義したものです。
And E equals MC squared.
その基準はシンプルで、大きさと重さとで測られます。一番強いものが小さくて重いもの、2番目に強いものが大きくて重いもの、3番目が小さくて軽いもの。これは人間ですね。そして最後に大きくて軽いもの、これは情報や噂話、幽霊といった広範囲に広がるものです。
Hold up, why are you explaining your technique?
あなた、私の大聖堂は最大直径 30km の隔絶空間。生命ではありませんが大きくて重いものです。これを極限まで圧縮すればどうなるか試してみるのも一興だと思いませんか。いくら凶暴なあなたでも抜け出すにはそれなりの時間が必要になる。
Okay, hear me out.
少なくとも1時間は超高密度の監獄を味わってもらいましょう。
I know you want to take me away from this area, but she kind of knows where I live.
イデアブラッド22番クロムクレイペタストラクチャー。
She's using the idea blood. Chrome clay petastructure. The Executor raises her arm held high. Then she brings together the gothic fort like she were closing the lid of a treasure chest, compressing the space within. I don't want to talk about closing lids. Or rather, she attempted to. She's like, enough of your shit. Whoa! A violent blue torrent bursts forth. An invisible force sends Ciel flying. The tower that trapped Arcueid is shattered. The beam of light that held it in place fade into nothingness.
何よそれ。閉じ込めるとか封じ込めるとか周りを守ることばっかり。これは私との遊びでしょ。ならもっと本気になりなさいよね。
Arcueid walks towards her enemy like she intends to stamp out her frustration. She had accused Ciel of not taking their fight seriously, but she severely misread the situation. The Executor was fighting seriously, considering her limited equipment. She was literally giving it everything she had. Against a true ancestor like Arcueid, all she can do is fight defensively. Going on the offense would be a recipe for her own ruin. To truly defeat Arcueid, she would need equipment that could kill her in one blow. That is what Ciel thinks, at least. But she does not have such luxuries at her disposal now, and Arcueid is not in her right mind. All that awaits her on the other side of this torment is death. What plagues her mind as she stares down her demise, however, is not fear. A single blow was enough to cause most of her organs to fail. The Executor fixes her eyes on the approaching vampire princess, gritting her teeth against a pain fierce enough to make anyone faint. Oh ho ho ho.
信じられない。あのバカ、本当に自分の感情で力を使っていませんか。
She's like, I calculated, you won't be able to escape this barrier. Oh god, I'm bad at math. The woman who has killed countless dead apostles, the woman who destroyed Vlove, now finds herself wishing that the terrible truth before her eyes was only a dream. Back to Shiki POV? He's just watching this going like, holy shit. Oh, it is. Ciel shouts a warning to me as Arcueid comes rushing at her with the speed and ferocity of a hurricane. She dodges, landing on the edge of a park square, a move clearly chosen to give me room to escape. Honestly, I'm not sure why they decided to have that that section, whatchamacallit, like barred off, like with the lines on the side so that it's not in Shiki's POV. Because Shiki can see everything. Maybe it's to show that like the third person perspective shows that Ciel's really trying to protect Shiki and there's information that Shiki doesn't know. So yeah, that makes sense. Their fight is entirely beyond my comprehension. I can't even follow Arcueid's movements. All I see are white after images fading into the darkened night. Still, Ciel continues to fend off her flurry of attacks. It's clear even in the way they fight that the two of them are diametrically opposed. In contrast to Arcueid's wild, spontaneous attacks, Ciel doesn't waste a single movement. She retreats, throws her swords from a distance, then braces when her attacker draws near. They are equals in fighting prowess. Arcueid moves with a reckless abandon, while Ciel remains firm and steady. But the odds are not in Ciel's favor. Her concern for her surrounding area keeps her from moving freely. On top of that, Arcueid does not tire, seemingly having no limit whatsoever. Exceptional as Ciel is, she's already fighting at full capacity. Arcueid, on the other hand, is able to expand her power endlessly. At this rate, she's gonna overwhelm Ciel's defenses. And she did. My premonition comes to pass before me. A victor emerges. The wall of light that bound Arcueid are broken, and Ciel is thrown back by some invisible force. Her body flies through the air and falls into the ground with a thud. Ciel bites through the agony and climbs to her feet, but her resistance is futile. Slap! She is launched even higher into the air by another unseeable blast. I hear the sound of flesh ripping and bones breaking as she hits the ground. A pool of red slowly spreads across the brick pavement. But in spite of it all, Ciel retains her consciousness. She forces her broken body back on its feet and stares down her enemy. Blue sparks crackle in the air around Arcueid as she makes her approach. Her red eyes are firmly fixated on Ciel's neck. I wonder why she has the electricity now. I haven't... Wasn't that Vlov's thing? No, not Vlov. Roa's thing? Or technically, like, other Shikis? I don't know if it's Roa's or Shiki's, but one of them had electric powers. My voice doesn't come out. Of course not. My brain is not functioning. But so what? Arcueid's gonna kill Ciel in cold blood. That's absolutely unacceptable. I can't let her do something so stupid. In a daze, I find my legs moving on their own. I slide in between them, arms spread wide open to protect Ciel. In an instant, Arcueid returns to normal. The sparks that flew around her disappear. Is she really so shocked that I would protect Ciel?
なんで？どうしてシキがそいつをかばうの？
なんでも何もない。言っただろ。先輩は俺にとって大事な人だ。いくらお前でもこれ以上先輩に手を挙げたら許さないからな。
Once again, you are both best girls. I tighten my grip on the knife in my pocket as I glare at Arcueid.
そう。そいつと仲良くなってたらどうなるかって私も言ったはずだけど。
Arcueid glares back at me with a murderous gaze.
どいて。今ならまだ許してあげる。早くそんな奴をかばうのはやめて。
Her crimson eyes flicker like a candle's flame. Her bloodlust is no longer aimed at Ciel, but turned towards me instead. My throat and mouth become painfully dry. My instincts warn me that this is my last chance to back off. But even so...
ダメだ。お前が先輩に手を挙げないと言うまでどかない。
聞きたくない。どいてシキ。
お前こそ引けアルクエイド。お前は俺に言ったじゃないか。人間は殺さないって。
ええ。私は人間は殺さない。
But that piece of shit ain't a human.
けど人間の規格を大きく外れた命には敬意を表してる。だから対等の存在として殺すことも厭わないわ。例えばあなたやそこの女みたいな相手にはね。
One step. Arcueid takes one step closer. Though my legs are trembling so fiercely that I think they may take off on their own, I hold back the urge to run.
そう。あなたはまた私にナイフを向けるんだ。
Another step. Arcueid casually closes in on me.
一度目は許した。けれど二度目を許せる自信はないわ。もっとも、あの時の再現はありえないけど、いくらあなたの直視の目でも、今の私から死を読み取ることはできないでしょう。
She's right in front of me. Her golden eyes bore into mine. Anxiety has frozen not only my heart, but every cell of my body. My spine has been ripped clean out. My organs have been turned inside out. This overwhelming sense of despair is beyond anything Vlov could muster. It's as though every part of the universe has turned its hateful gaze onto me. There's nothing I can do. This is what it means to make Arcueid your enemy. She's too fundamentally different from living beings to be fought. Attacking her would be meaningless. In order to save Ciel, in order for either of us to have any chance of survival, my only option is to stop her using my words. I'll tell her. I'll hate you if you do this! Nothing. Saying the wrong thing would only make things worse. Well then, that deserves a save. I feel like this is the right answer. I'll hate you if you do this, because if he does nothing, Ciel is going to die. And thing about this is that like the text before really implies that he has to say something. So I'll choose this one first. Nothing. Throb. A terrible chill pierces the nape of my neck. Arcueid is close enough to kill me. She could decapitate me with a single swipe of her arm. Her cold eyes tell me that that is the most likely outcome. Arcueid is a vampire, with values so different from ours. It was always impossible for us to coexist. And yet, I don't want to accept this outcome. Oh, he's still talking this one. Arcueid stops. Did my pleading get through to her? She seems a little less intense. I might just be able to talk her down. It happened in an instant. Though she's wounded so badly that she can barely stand, Ciel gets in front of me.
生命力だけはさすがね。でもそれでどうするの？さっきの大魔術で魔力は空っぽのくせに。今のあなたじゃシキの盾にもならない。シキが無茶をしている間に逃げればよかったのに。あなたこそ、そんな気もないくせに笑わせないでください。私が背中を見せれば、喜んでとどめを刺す気だったでしょう。
You're right.
でも、おあいにくさまでしたね。私はまだ戦えます。だって彼を無関係な人々を守るのは私の役目なんですから。
Damn, she's so lawful good.
先輩。
Her breathing is ragged. Her clothes are soaked in blood, and she still puts on a brave front, trying desperately to protect me.
あなたも下がってください。ここは私が。
もう下がるのは先輩の方だ。いいから休んでろ。ここは俺が何とかするから。でもありがとう。大好きです先輩。
Uh-oh. I scramble to put myself in front of Ciel. I must think that I'm invincible, but I wouldn't even flinch if Arcueid glowered at me with those golden eyes again. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done.
待ってください。無理ですから。
Like, I'll die for you. And Arcueid's like, oh, but why?
トーノ君じゃアルクエイドに殺されちゃいます。ここを何とかするのは私の方ですよ。
そんな傷で何言ってるんですか。いいから下がって。ほら、ここで意地を張るのは俺の役目です。たまには先輩を守らせてください。
守るって、でも。
Arcueid's like, I'm supposed to be there. It should have been me. We grab each other's shoulder and shuffle back and forth, putting who gets to stand in front of the other. It's like we're performing a little dance. I don't know what's gotten into us, but it's actually kind of fun. Not fun for everyone, though. I want to join. A certain onlooker trembles with fury as she watches our friendly bickering. Is she slurping up all the blood again?
何よバカ。もういい。好きなんて知らない。
I'm done with you.
そんなにシエルが大事なら勝手にすれば。私もう助けてあげないから。
アルクエイド。
いい、私帰る。言っておくけど、その女はあなたが思っているような真っ当な人間じゃないから。利用されて絞り取られて薄皮一枚にまでなればいいわ。
Arcueid shouts at me angrily and turns away in a huff.
なんだよそれ。お前だってさっき物騒なこと言ってたじゃないか。私は
隠し事はしないもん。シキが好きって言っただけよ。
Just saying I like you.
じゃあね、後で私に泣きついても聞いてあげないから。
I love how this ended
せいぜい血を吸われないよう気をつけることね。
So it ended so like immaturely. Arcueid, still clearly upset, leaps out of the park like a shooting star darting across the night sky. Bye-bye. Ciel's like, what the fuck just happened? And Shiki's like, I told you she was harmless. Everything unfolded a little too quickly for me to wrap my head around. Ciel and I look up into the darkness that swallowed Arcueid, dumbfounded.
星になってしまいましたね、彼女。
星というよりロケットっぽかったですけど。
The two of us blankly share the first words that come to mind.
そうじゃなくて、なんて無茶をするんですか、遠野くんは。神祖と戦おうとするなんて自殺願望にも程があります。
Ciel lectures me with her hands on my shoulders. I don't object. She's absolutely right.
そうでしたね。今でも背中すげえ冷たいです。あいつやるときは本当用じゃないから。
そこまで分かっていてどうして。
だって先輩を放っておけないし。改めてありがとうございます先輩。俺のために戦ってくれたのぐらいわかります。
Of course.
はい、お礼を言うなら私もでした。
Are we at a new spot yet? Oh, we are. Okay, I'll wait for the scene to end. Did it lead to the same thing? Ah.
遠野くんがいなかったらどうなっていたかわからなかったです。
If I hadn't been here, then you wouldn't have been here either. Ciel shyly looks down at her feet. Neither of us know what to say. We've gotten very close to one another. Though we aren't touching, I can feel her body heat tickling my skin.
先ほどは意地を張ってごめんなさい。遠野くんを困らせるつもりじゃなかったんです。
さっきのってアルクエイドのこと？
そうじゃなくて、お屋敷から公園までのこととか。
For being so petty and just following Shiki.
昼間の茶道室のこととか。
I'm the one who should be apologizing for all that. But if I do, Ciel will only get even more apologetic. If she says what she wants to apologize, I should just listen. Maybe this means that we can be friends again. That's all I want.
そうですね。じゃあ喧嘩両成敗ってことで仲直りしてください。明日になったら先輩に無視されるとか考えるだけで怖いですから。
By the way, Arihiko ate all my curry bread. That bitch.
そうですか。そんなことでいいなら喜んで。
Her head bowed. Ciel pulls her glasses out from somewhere and puts them back on.
それより先輩、体は大丈夫ですか？
I take a step back to look over Ciel's body. She was bleeding out onto the ground just now, so if we don't take care of this soon... And she's fine. It's gone. The blood that had pooled around her on the pavement, the blood that had stained her habit, it's all gone. Huh. Wait, even her habit? I guess her habit is maybe like magically infused or some church stuff. But like, with blood would stain it, right? Unless the blood went back in her body.
遠野くん、これは。
そっか。先輩はあれぐらいの傷なんともないんでしたっけ？グローブの時なんてもっと深い傷を受けてたし、並大抵のことならあいつみたいにすぐに治って。
She's like, yeah, sure, let's go with that. I'm such an idiot. Escaping mortal danger made me careless. Careless enough to bring up a subject I've been unconsciously avoiding until now. She's just like a vampire. After all, she has true immortality. That girl isn't half the decent human being you think she is. At least try not to get your blood sucked. I push those words into the recesses of my subconscious, but it seems that my silence has spoken loudly enough.
いや、でもあれだよな。アルクイドのやつもデタラメなことばっかり言うよな。先輩が俺の血を吸うなんて、 そんなこと絶対にありえないのに。
Yeah, there's no way that would happen. Not in a million years. I mean, Ciel walks around during the day. Sure, Arcueid does that too, but even if she's weaker when it's light out. Ciel doesn't change day or night. Besides, she's a member of the church. It's not like they'd hire a vampire to go vampire hunting.
取り繕わないでいいです。私の体のこと、ノエル先生から聞いたんですね。
How did you know that? I can't say the word yes. Not out of consideration for Ciel, but out of my own desire to turn a blind eye to reality.
ノエル先生のおかげで目が覚めました。質問の続きです。
Next
どうして
question.
私をかばったんですか？アルクエドが本気であなたを殺すつもりだったのは分かっていたはずなのに。
No, but she wouldn't. She loves me too much. There's no emotion in Ciel's eyes. It's as if they're a doll's eyes, empty and unseeing.
どうしてって、さっきも言ったでしょ。先輩が殺されかけたんです。誰だってかばいます。
自分が殺されるというのに、献身とは自分の命を投げ出すことではありません。自分の命をないがしろにして他者の命を救おうというのは、献身でも犠牲でもなく、ただの自己愛です。あなたは、ただ自分が後悔したくなかっただけ。それだけであんな真似をして満足しています。
Then sure, yeah, let's go with that.
はっきり言って、すごく迷惑です。正しく生きようとするのは立派ですが、あなたの身勝手な正しさに私を巻き込まないでください。
それは。
There's nothing I can say. She's right. I didn't think things through. I was so focused on saving her that the thought of how to deal with Arcueid afterwards never crossed my mind. I never stopped to consider what Ciel wanted. She got every right to say that, but...
それでも先輩を守りたかったんです。それが迷惑だって言うんですか？先輩はあのままアルクエイドに殺されていてもよかったって。
はい。私の命なんですから。あなたにどうこう言われるものではないはずです。いえ、死んだ方がまだマシでした。吸血鬼にお情けで見逃されて生き延びるなんて無様すぎます。
Fuck that pride. Humiliating. She'd rather have died? I can't make any sense of that whatsoever.
自分の命を何だと思ってるんですか、先輩は。死んだらそれまでなんですよ。どんなにひどくて、どんなにみっともないことをしてでも、生きていられるのなら生きるべきです。だって。
Yes, Ciel, don't you know? People die when they are killed.
だって、生きていなくちゃ何もないじゃないですか。無様だから何だって言うんです。どんなに情けなくても、何もなくなるよりずっと何倍もいい。俺は先輩を守りたかった。死んでほしくなかった。先輩と一緒にまた茶道室にいたかったんです。
I know I should stay calm, but I can't hold back the swell of emotion in my chest. I'm an idiot. Ciel and I just made up, and here I go yelling at her again. I think he's gonna end up confessing.
そうでしたね。あなたは7年前に一度死にかけた人でした。だからそんな単純な考えで満足できるんです。幸せな人。そんな言葉、私には言えません。
Ciel steps away from me, her eyes hollow. Even though I could reach out to her and touch her, she feels impossibly far away.
アルクエイドが言っていたことは本当です。彼女の言う通り、私は人間とは呼べません。トーノ君も見たでしょ？さっきまであんなにこぼれていた血が、まるでなかったことのように消え去っているのを。
それは。
いいんです。私、化け物なんです。私は吸血種ではありませんが、普通の人間らしい体ではないのも事実ですから。
I mean, I knew that ages ago.
何言ってるんですか、先輩。人間らしい体って、先輩は十分普通じゃないか。
これでもですか。
Oh God.
先輩。
I don't have time to stop her. She slits her throat with one of her swords. I hear a dull scraping as the blade cuts through her flesh and carotid artery. Then a wet splash. A vibrant scarlet floods my vision. Blood gushes from her neck. It smells of iron, of life itself. The primary color hurts to look at. It's beautiful, threatening to rob me of my sight, my entire consciousness. The fresh blood seeps into her black habit. Beneath that habit, the red liquid that runs over Ciel's pale skin must be growing thicker, like a serpent coiling around her body. Splat! A drop of blood lands on my finger. The sensation snaps me back to reality. Ciel's bleeding out in front of me.
Senpai!
I rush forward, wiping away the blood splatter on me. She pulls the sword away from her neck. Ah, so it does get sucked back. Her wound has already closed. Not only that, all the blood that spurted out of the wound is disappearing. This is beyond healing, beyond regeneration. This ability is even greater than Vlov's. I'm speechless. I have absolutely nothing to say in response to what I just witnessed. Ciel grins bitterly. I still don't know what to say, even when faced with that smile. Why can't I finish that sentence? No matter what kind of person she is or what kind of body she has, even if it turns out that she was a vampire all along, Ciel would still be extremely important to me. So why? I only said that because those truly were the best of times. I wish they could have gone on forever. No, don't let her go! No, Shiki, no! Oh, damn it. Oh, I was hoping that he would confess. Okay, so at this point, I think that's it's close enough to be in the next scene. I want to see what happens on the other route. Okay, what happens? Arcueid, I'll hate you if you do this. Will this really work? It is how I feel, but I have no idea how she'll respond.
待て、アルクエド。いいのか？本当にいいのか？
言ってることがわからない。いいのかって何がよ。
Well,
それ以上進んだら、お前のこと嫌いになるからな。
She's like, no, no! I don't believe it. That worked. She actually stopped. Let's suck. Oh, it was only that part. And oh, she acts exactly the same. Huh. I really did not expect that. Alright, yeah, nothing else was different. We kind of went straight back here. I'm genuinely surprised that these two went to the same spot, because in the other one, I mean, they both end up resulting in Arcueid being like, fine, you guys flirt with each other, I'm leaving. So, okay. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. Ciel smiles, gently as always, and disappears before my eyes. She remains Arcueid's polar opposite to the end. Arcueid flew away like a shooting star, but I don't even see Ciel's back as she leaves. Oh, that's sad. The inside of my head is churning violently. I couldn't chase after Ciel if I tried. Arcueid called Ciel a vampire, and Ciel didn't deny it. She even showed me definitive proof of it. she could have lied. So one thing I kind of don't understand is like, so she is quote unquote immortal, and her wounds will like basically reverse to a state where before she was injured. So does that mean Arcueid could have killed her, or could not have killed her, like because she keeps coming back, resetting, or is it like if you are killed, you will die, but if you are short of being killed, like other injuries, it'll reset back? I'm not quite sure I understand how Ciel works. Even if I saw right through it, I wish you would have told me it wasn't true. Goodbye. I don't need to think about what that means. I learned what Ciel really was. I hurt her, and even then, she still came to see me. But now that's all over. In a matter of minutes, I've lost everything because of one careless remark. I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's because I don't live in a supernatural environment, but whenever this stuff happens, I always think like, I mean, the person's still the same. It's just that they're extra cool because they have these powers, unless they really hate having this power. So, like, I guess you can consider someone a monster because they can't be killed. But if it's someone I like and not an enemy, I think that's just super cool. Though I guess I haven't witnessed it personally, so my mind isn't working. What is it that I lost? What is causing me this pain? A story some woman called Noelle told me. Told me? An accusation by Arcueid? A slit throat that proved it all? Or is it... Oh, I have a headache. Self-loathing clings inside my lungs like mud. I feel like throwing up. It feels like some invasive plant growing in my head. It hurts so much that I can't think. I can't cope with the reality of never seeing Ciel again. I leave the park. My steps feeble. My memories hazy. Come on, you should have said something, Shiki. One more. All the way up until we get home. Oh my god, I'll stop it. That's the 4th time. Or like 6th time. You just go to sleep. Go to sleep. You need it. Oh, I'm exhausted. The weed in my brain has grown into a thicket of tangled thorns, creaking and groaning as it tightens around my non-functioning gray matter. I tumble heavily into bed. An ominous darkness creeps closer and closer, looming over my shoulder. And then I wake up and read some books. Oh, I can still see lines on her hair. But the faces that come to mind now are no different from the ones I saw this morning. With that final thought, I close my eyes. All I want is to go to sleep like a brain-dead scarecrow. But I'm not going. I'm gonna wake up. Right? Right-yo. I dream of myself from long ago. Humans tend to reminisce more and more as they age. I suppose I am no exception. The abilities I have a use for, and those that I do not. That which I need and that which I don't. Myself of today and myself of tomorrow. I sift through all of them and store what belongs to the past in my workshop, as though writing a memoir I will never read. Disposing of one's past self is part of being human. The hour of my death is nigh. To be exact, I have about 1 week left in this world. That fair avatar will soon come for me, and this life will come to an end. It stirs no particular emotion in me. All humans must die. That is their inevitable fate. If there's anything I fear, it is the moment I wake. The sensation of crawling free from unending darkness never gets any less repulsive, no matter how many times I experience it. I reflect on my past as I chart my future. The life I leave behind was a failure. My body was born fragile, so I devoted myself to extending the longevity of the flesh. While I found some success in halting aging, the overall experiment proved fruitless. As I expected, the human body is not fit for eternal youth. What shall I pursue next? So much of my research remains unfinished. My current topic of study, agelessness, proved counterproductive, even regressive. So next, I will study inheritance. Humans combine desirable genes to birth superior descendants. Might this be achieved more directly and effectively? Consider the Dead Apostle. Though they may grant undeath to the minions, that does not extend the passing on their powers. Indeed, they have no reproductive functions to speak of. They may experience lust and sexual desire, but they cannot reproduce offspring. Their individual longevity renders a reproductive capacity unnecessary. Family in the Dead Apostle Society refers to minions nurtured with particular care. Dead Apostles of rank 6 or higher may possess what they call some sons and daughters, but these are merely talented mortals they have adopted and turned at the right time. If any are truly connected by blood, it is only because they are parent and child in life. Such as the case of Lord Rose N, the last hope of the aristocracy, who became a vampire alongside his beloved daughters. He and his supporters are considered one of the most powerful factions in Dead Apostle Society, and his success and life satisfaction are the envy of even his fellow ancestors. Yet his greatest lamentation is that he will never see a grandchild. Dead Apostles cannot give birth to children. Dead Apostles cannot pass on their powers. They cannot even pass on their genes. They are fatally flawed as living creatures. This is the primary reason that despite their superiority to humans, they are not counted as Homo sapiens. XIV, so that is 14. Dead Apostles cannot create Dead Apostle children. No matter how strong their curse, an Ancestor's curse is potent indeed, enough to challenge the world. It will vanish with them. This is not perfection. And so I still have work to do. I've decided on my next topic of study. The curse is held by the 27 ancestors. I shall devise a way that they can be inherited. The primary issue is that each principle is unique. They cannot be imitated, and copying them would negate their uniqueness, diluting their power. Thus, inheritance is the key. I will design a technique to make all 27 principles mine, repurposed for my own use. Oh, it's this thing again. XV, so that's 14. Oh, sorry, it's 15. I just read 14. Oh, is this like the different lives he's lived? So I believe Roa was 18. I mean, Shiki was 18 or 17. They said he rebirthed 17. He reincarnated 17 times, but I don't know if that means he's considered the 18th one or not. Let's just say he's 17. So this is 2 before him. The inheritance and use of all curses and liabilities, or the forceful transfer of one's power and fate. So according to my hypothesis, which is all but confirmed, Ciel should be number 16, so this would be right before he hopped into Ciel. I will define the efficiency of efficacy of my next self. Oh, murder, claim, and exploit. Yes, murder must be the foundation. In much the same way as humans bequeath possessions. Inelegant as it sounds when put into words, the death of the previous owner is necessary for any inheritance to be passed on. Inheritance. I pride myself on the accuracy of that term. Inheritance from one's parents is rarely much to celebrate. For most, the best case scenario is overwhelming debt. Will my next body be strong enough to bear that burden? Ah, the stars are falling. The fair avatar has departed. My torso has been reduced to nothing. My arms and legs turned to ash. All that remains is my head, which will burn away in seconds. Oh, this is before he reincarnated into Ciel, supposedly, maybe. Ooh. Oh, they said don't walk into the light, but the light brings reincarnation. As death takes hold of me, I ask myself once more, am I not afraid? Of course not. All I feel is regret. I sought perfection. What is perfection to you, my old friend who remained at... Oh, asked my old friend who remained at the church. That was, Navarek. I forgot exactly what the name is. To that friend, perfection can only indicate the Almighty, our all-knowing Father, naturally, for that was the doctrine of our faith. The Church created an unchanging being and proved its omnipotence by spreading its word. Even as they knew the universe is constantly expanding, they declared that their God a universal constant. But that is utterly laughable. Mistaken. The very idea of a constant is antiquated. It is always humans of the present day that push knowledge and awareness further. What value is there in being omnipotent in a bygone era? Perfection is not an object to be obtained, but a destination at which one must arrive. Humanity's terminus, a conclusion to its story. The meaning of my soul, the answer to the question of our purpose. I want to reach that conclusion. That constant state where nothing can be gained or lost. That is the only eternity to be found on this earth. The vampires known as Ancestors pursue eternity itself. What I pursue is a means to reach it. It is only natural then that they scorn me as a heretic. We are fundamentally different creatures. I know beyond a doubt that my path is not mistaken. Even if my methods turned out to be flawed. Though this, too, is a hollow proclamation. My old self, the theologian, died the day I saw the castle and its fields of stars in blue. I discovered that eternity already existed. Or rather, I discovered something that I wish to preserve for all eternity. Even now, no matter how many times I leave this world, I still return to this agonizing cycle of hatred and joy. In one fateful moment, I weigh my desire to know the whole universe against my desire to know a single woman. And in that moment, the theologian died. So hear my word, you who hear this. Engrave this warning deep within your soul. Is the woman he's talking about Arcueid? To look with human eyes upon the light of the planet is a grave sin. Once all this is done, you will learn just what it is you fell in love with. Ew, or is it Ciel? I don't know. Oh boy, okay, this might be a little bit shorter, like maybe like just over an hour. But I think I'm gonna stop here because, you know, a lot of stuff happened. That was a really cool confrontation between Ciel and Arcueid, and I expected a confrontation between Arcueid and Akiha, but that never really happened. But here, ooh, that was a good fight, and everything made sense, other than maybe Arcueid powering herself up with emotions. But you know what? I think that's just her letting loose, and I mean, I can still buy it, to be honest. So yeah, it's kind of funny how Shiki's retort is like, "No, I'm not gonna like you anymore." And she was just like, "No, I don't want that." And she stopped, sucked all the blood back, and she's like, "Okay, I'll stop." But yeah, I don't know what to expect next. I was imagining Ciel's gonna disappear from school, because at this point she probably thinks Shiki hates her, and she wouldn't really have a reason to go to school anymore. Something's gonna happen with Noelle. She's definitely gonna have her own little arc, and I mean, we're probably gonna see Arcueid again still. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's gonna happen, but I guess we'll find out next time. And until then, I will be seeing you. See ya!